An impromptu video, I know, but it's about time I make this video. Yo, what is up, Crockxen clan members, anime fans, and others for some fun this video. I'm SoresanCrockxen, and in light of the fact that Black Clover is going to come back for a second season, I think this week is when it starts. I'm not too sure. I need to look back. I think it's either this week or next week. It will continue with its weekly releases. And I just wanted to give my overall thoughts because I haven't really talked too much about Black Clover on this channel, right? I haven't been making videos in general on this channel. But I did talk about it in my top 10 animes of last year. You guys can watch that. It's on the channel. I don't know if I could put it. Anyways, okay, I might put it as a card. Let's do that. I might put it as a card. I don't remember which side. I think it's on this side. I don't freaking know. Anyways, that's besides the point. That's pretty much the only time I ever talked about it, right? As I didn't really go too much into detail after I made that video, and I haven't really talked too much about it since. But I really need to get this out of the way, or I need to like bring light to this because Black Clover has pretty much filled a void for me personally, because like Fairy Tail was just done until now. It comes back now, yay! Episode reviews coming back for that, yeah. I'm sorry, I just have to say that. And then obviously Naruto ended a long time ago. So Black Clover was like, when I first heard about it, I wrote it down on my notes because like I write down all the shows that I'm interested in to watch. And especially if it says that it's to be determined, or like it's going to be coming out, it's a new show that's going to be coming out at a specific date. Well, I write it down so that I can give it a shot, right? Because I always look at synopsis, and I always look at before I watch an anime. I usually look up stuff about it. I usually like look through like Wikipedia and like look through anime lists everywhere, and I'm like, let me read about this one. If it sounds interesting, then I give it a shot. Sometimes it doesn't pan out. Sometimes I really like the shows and I really enjoy them. Black Clover, I had it on the list, and I actually missed the first like 2 to 3 episodes because I didn't know that it had started, and it wasn't until I watched the Insane Game Freaks video on it being released, I'm like, oh crap, I was gonna watch that show, and I started watching it, and I've been watching it on a weekly basis, and I've been hearing a lot of things, especially from the Insane Game Freaks, because as you guys know, he's like my favorite YouTuber just ever. And I really like to listen to what he says and watch all his videos, and what he brings to the table really intrigues me. And when it comes to Black Clover, one of the things that he's always been complaining about, and I actually completely agree with him, the animation is terrible. Like it's animation wise, this show is complete booty, like garbage trash. Like should not continue with this quality of animation. This is really really bad. There are those moments or those episodes, and even specific scenes that are really, really, really well done. Like it's almost like a completely different show. You're like, there's no way that this is happening in the same show, because the quality just drops immensely. Right? It's really, really bad. And I know I heard about a lot of things about how it's the studio that animates it, with the Studio Period, they outsource this show because they also have like Boruto and like other big shows that they have on their plate. So it's like they can't really manage with their staff, so they outsourced it, which is one of the reasons why Black Clover has such an issue. Those other studios just aren't up to par, so when you get those episodes that are done by those people, they're kind of garbage. And like that's not to fault the animators, because they're probably rushed on time. They're like, oh, you gotta do this, so they don't really pay too much attention to quality, which is bad, right? Especially with a series like this, which from what I've seen and what I've read, Japan sales are through the roof for the manga. Like this thing is actually like a big thing. It's very popular. People over here in the States are really getting into the groove of things. I've seen a lot of people talking about the anime. A lot of the people praise it. And like I wanted to put basically my 2 cents into it, because like I said, I do agree the animation is just fucking awful. It's honestly my biggest issue with this show. Like if the animation was just more steady, or at least more consistent. That's the only thing I ask. Just make it more consistent, because sometimes it just feels like they just blow the budget on like one particular scene. You're like, okay, no wonder everything else looks like crap for the rest of the episode. Because it's really I'm not even joking. Like, there's Noelle, which is like the main female protagonist of the show. Some of her water spells look like complete ass. I'm not even joking. There's no fluidity to any of that stuff. Like, I'm just sitting here like, what is this? And like some of the special effects, they just don't work. Like, there's been villains that have these crazy things, and you're just like, oh god, what is this? There's scenes where the mouths aren't moving, and they're talking, and you're just like, huh? And then they're like Vito, which is like the villain of this last arc that just ended, right? They had moments where he was like, you would hear him, you know, his mouth was not synced to what he was saying. Like, he would be laughing, but then his mouth would look like he was talking. It was just bad. Like, it's actually awful. But, and like this Endgame Pre puts this out a lot. Like, he suggests you read the manga because the manga is like a million times better, and I honestly don't doubt it. If I had my own space, like, I would definitely buy this manga because I just would. But my point is, I do still think, even though the animation is bad, the series is worth taking a look at because, as I mentioned, Black Clover is the shonen that basically filled my void for the fact that Naruto ended and Fairy Tail wasn't starting for who knows how much longer. Because by the time when I started watching Black Clover, there was still no actual release date on if Fairy Tail was going to come back. But there was rumors, yeah, but there's nothing that was confirmed that it was coming back. So I basically was just looking for that show that would like fill that void. And I know I can bring it out. I'm like, Naruto is not the best show ever. Fairy Tail has a lot of problems, right? I'm not saying these shows are freaking amazing, okay? I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys and say they're perfect or whatever. But to me, they're special. I really, really enjoyed, like, Naruto, even with all its problems, which it has a numerous amount. Like, there's so many problems with that series. It's ridiculous. But it was still, like, something I really enjoyed. It's still something that had a very close place in my heart. Fairy Tail, again, same thing, numerous flaws. So there's a lot of issues with that franchise, that series. There's a lot wrong with Fairy Tail. But I like the characters, and I really grew attached to the series. So, finding something to fill that in, Black Clover comes in, and I honestly feel like, out of the three, this is probably like the best storytelling-wise and character-wise. Well, that's still debatable, because like Fairy Tail, I feel very close attached to a lot of those characters, but it's only like a specific few, which is where Black Clover comes like to fruition. Like, Black Clover has this way of like making you like their characters. Like, Hardy the Black Wolves, which is the squad that Asta ends up joining, which is the main character. If you guys watch the show, you should know this stuff, right? The Black Bulls, I actually like a lot of these characters. Like, the only one I really don't care for right now is Gordon, and that's because they haven't really given him the spotlight. Like, he's just a gag at this point. I have no idea what his purpose is. But, like, you had, like, Gray was, like, this mysterious dude this whole time, this big guy that was constantly blowing smoke out of his mouth. I didn't know anything about him, and then they gave him the spotlight. Sure, her the spotlight, because it's actually a girl. And this whole time I thought it was actually like this big dude, and yeah, I didn't even know what his magic was until they fucking showed it in this arc. Like, real talk, I was like, what the hell does this dude do? And then it turns out it wasn't a dude at all. It was actually a girl. Yeah, that's just, you know, it's just a thing. But like Gosh, I like Gosh especially after his arc, after like the third arc, which was meeting the third eye, or the Midnight Sun, the Eye of the Midnight Sun, or whatever. I really don't. I need to get familiar with these names, because there's just so much stuff that, like, point is, when they gave him his development, I was like, dang, this guy's cool. Like, Charmy, I still think is kind of weird, but like, she's adorable, and she did some stuff in this arc that was cool. And like, I love Noelle. Like, the Tsuneta stuff is whatever, but I really like her as a character. Like, they've really used her properly, and I love the training they did with her. And like, oh my gosh. And then obviously I love Asta. Like, real talk, like, between Asta, Naruto, and Natsu, I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, Naruto's broken as fuck, and then Natsu's actually busted. Like, he's just way too strong. Asta, he's ass by default because he has no magic, but his determination, his drive. Yeah, they all have shitty pass. Actually, no, Natsu's the only one that doesn't have a shitty pass. He can fucking, like, I mean, he kind of does. Spoilers. That I don't even know the full details, so I can't even give you too much information. But like Naruto, yeah, he had a fucked up pass, but like he had a fucking giant fox inside of him that makes him super busted and super strong, and yeah, all that stuff. But like Asta, that's all him, right? Like, yeah, the swords are great and they provide his, a chance for him to fight in this universe, but like it's literally just him. Everything that Asta does is all him. Yeah, there's gonna be spoilers. They kind of showed it off in this final arc. I'm assuming all of you guys have watched it by this point. But like, yeah, he does have demon powers. He hasn't really used them. Like, he only used them once in this arc. That was at the end of it. They teased it in the opening, the third opening. They teased it. They never showed it, but they teased it. But the point is, like, he's really cool. Now, the two shining stars of this last arc, and the ones I was kind of concerned with, were Funeral and Vanessa. Now, Funeral, I just didn't like at all. Like, he was the one I was just done with. I did not care for this character in the beginning, because he's that typical flirty dude, whatever. Like, his magic isn't even, like, it's cool, right, because you can teleport, but it's only when places you've been before, or places you can see. And I'm just like, whatever, because you're not really doing much. I don't know how you would use that power in a fight. And like, Vanessa's just there for like the entirety. Like, she does have her things, but she's like the sexy like witch lady that's like all about drinking and always being naked and shit. Like, I didn't even know what her freaking powers were until this arc. Like, it's crazy. And I'm just sitting here like, they had the spotlight. I love both of these characters so much now because of the fight that Asta, Funeral, and Vanessa had against Vito. That fight in itself made me like these two characters so freaking much. Oh, like the teamwork in that, because like these guys have never fought before, right? They haven't fought together at all in like as a group, as a trio. None of this stuff has happened. And here they are, just chilling, fighting against this giant demon dude, and like they made them look so freaking badass. And like you had those moments where like he's always like quick to run away, do all this other stuff and blah blah blah, and like we get like a snippet of his backstory, which I'm assuming they're gonna go more into later, because according to what I heard from the Insane Game Freak, they really go flesh out a little bit more later. And Vanessa's gonna get her whole arc soon, which is crazy. Like they both got flashback episodes in this freaking fight. It's ridiculous, and it made me really get more attached to them, because freaking everybody in this freaking squad has had a shitty past. Like, real talk. Oh my, like, well, Gray, we don't really know too much about her yet. I hope we get to see more of her. Gordon is still like whatever, but like Ghosh, like his path is shit. Like his family was rich, all this other shit, and blah blah, and they all died. Fucking people are greedy as fuck, and like yeah, like his past is fucking fucked up. Like, right. Then you have Asa, who has no magic powers at all. Like, his life has just been hell because he lives in a world of magic without magic. Noelle, her whole family disowned her, right? That's fucked up, by the way. Vanessa was in a fucking cage for the majority of her life, and she didn't escape. Funeral basically was destroyed by his family because his younger brother is better than him at every single fucking thing. Like, and then even Yami, the fucking captain of the squad, that boy's a foreigner, and like everybody who saw him when they first arrived, like they all freaking hate him because he's a foreigner and his magic is gross and it's dark, because it's freaking dark magic. Like, oh my gosh, and then he's a captain, they see him as this lesser person. Literally everyone is freaking, like, and then you have freaking Luck and Magna. These, oh my gosh, it's just crazy, man. It's just crazy. Luck's mom hated him. And then, like, Magna is just, he's a delinquent that just had a shitty past. And damn, like, these characters, I totally forgot about this too. I feel so bad, because I really like them. They did the fucking fusion shit from Fairy Tail though. I saw that. And I was like, that's the fucking thing from Fairy Tail, because like, it reminded me of fucking Sting and Rogue when they were fighting Natsu. Like, literally what it looked like. They fucking put their hands together and they combine their powers and like, I don't fucking know. How did I forget those two? I mean, I think I forgot them because they didn't really do much at the end of the battle because they were passed out because they fucking almost died. But yeah, this video is getting way too long. I just wanted to bring up that, like, I really think it's a worthwhile series. I feel like they do their characters justice. And this is just the Black Bulls. I didn't even talk about, like, Yuno, which is Asa's best friend / rival. I didn't even go with his story. And, like, how some of these other squads have these characters that are really cool. Like, Yuno's squad, like, the main ones we've seen so far, which is Yuno, and then, I forget their names. There's just too many names. I will get them memorized. Do not worry. Okay, because I'm going to keep watching this series. But we have this chick who's, like, Noelle's cousin, and Mimosa, I think that's her name, who's, like, a healer mage. And then, like, there's just so many cool things, and I love the character so much. The freaking Magic King, right? The Wizard King, like, he's a freaking awesome, and his powers are busted, and like, I don't know, I just really like this character. And the fact that Yami, who's like a captain, right? He's the captain of the Black Bulls. He's still evolving. Like, even in this arc, he freaking learns a new spell. Like, just because you're a fucking captain doesn't mean you can't grow as a character. And like, I just feel like they really help these characters out a lot, and I feel like they do a better job of handling this multitude of characters, way better than fucking Naruto ever could have dreamed of doing. Because I'm sorry, Kishimoto, you just fucking suck at writing your characters. And then like Fairy Tail is a mixed bag, because some characters are done really, really well, and then some other ones are just getting left in the dust, and you're just like wondering like, why the fuck are you even here? Like, half of the Fairy Tail guild, like, you're just like, why are you here? Right? Most of them don't even fucking matter. They're just there. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too rough on Fairy Tail. Then again, I already said, like, that show just has a lot of fucking problems. But yeah, like, I just wanted to bring this up. Black Clover, it helped me. It helped me, like, have that series to, like, basically hold me over until Fairy Tail. But it's gotten to the point where, like, I like these characters so much that I want to keep watching it, right? I want to keep going with it. Like, I want to buy the manga because obviously quality wise it's gonna be better, because it just is. But I'm gonna keep watching the show. I really am. I'm upset that the quality is so bad and so inconsistent all the time that it's not as good as it could be. But I like these characters too much to stop, right? Because at this point I can't actually go out of my way to get the whole manga stuff, just because of my living conditions. And I don't have a really place to put them. But the show, for now, will hold me over. Like, I like these characters a lot. I'm going to keep watching it. And I really recommend, if you haven't watched it, I know I've spoiled a little bit. Kind of. I didn't really go too much into detail. But, I do recommend you watch it. I think it's worthwhile. Just come through it, because the characters are actually worth it. The characters and the story behind it are really worth it. They do that whole motif of like never giving up and shit like that. Basically typical Shonen Jump stuff, or not Shonen Jump, Shonen character traits of never giving up. I really do enjoy it, and I really hope that more people watch the show, more people support it, so that we can get better quality. Damn it. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you thought about it in the comment section below. And while you're down there, let me know, have you watched Black Clover? What do you think of it? Do you like the characters? Do you not like the characters? What are your overall thoughts? And yeah, that's going to be it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've been SoresanCrockxen, and I will see you guys in future videos. Actually, one last thing. If anybody could let me know what this soundtrack is and where it's from, please let me know. I really want to download it because it's so freaking good.